Yo, Hector.
What's up, balls?
If April showers bring May flowers, what do May flowers bring?
Hopefully beer.
Pilgrims.
Ha!
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Breaking Down the Tape. There are no separate figures for those who will watch this on YouTube. We are in one picture, for I have met up with Hector once again.
And it will be a good one.
Yeah, cheers to that. So, obviously, I'm Zach.
And I'm going to drink what I drink.
And that's Hector. This week we've got quite a bit of news. I know there's been a kind of a lull in football news here recently, but we've got some big storylines that just broke yesterday and today. So today being Monday. So maybe before you hear this on the Wednesday, there'll be even more big news, but we can only bring you what we can bring you at this time. So we got Around the World of Sports, which Hector will be taking over here for in a minute. We've got the trivia question, which I have been scolded by Hector because he told me in the beginning I went way too hard on you guys last week, and because of it, I received no responses. But we'll cover it then. We want to talk about Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers because that, if you've missed it, you're living under a rock. That's the big news. So before we get there, Hector, talk to me about Around the World of Sports, man.
All right, so we're going to shoot all the way around, and we're going to start off where things ended, the NBA. So now a champion has been crowned. Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks are the champs. 50-year drought of not having a title since 1971 over.
Yeah, I said Bucks in 7, so I was right with the team, wrong with the amount of games because it was Bucks in 6. Giannis lost his mind. Just lost his shit and just went off for 50 points. However many other.
I mean, during the series, he averaged, I think it was like 35, 11, and 4 assists, 2 blocks. Like it was insane. His stat line was his final game. That game 6, he dropped 50. Career high 14, career high playoffs points, 14 rebounds, 5 blocks.
The one point of his game that everybody called out, his free throw percentage, he made sure to shut everybody up in game 6.
My thing was, I made a funny take on Sports Me because I kept hearing all these discussions of like who else could win MVP other than Giannis.
Right.
And people swore, and I never said who I thought would win MVP, but people swore like, "Oh, you're stupid if it's not Giannis." And I'm like, but I've never said who my winner was.
Right.
I'm just entertaining the fact that someone thinks that someone other than Giannis or Chris Paul, if the Suns would have won, was going to win MVP.
Right, if they go back to, I think it was either last week's episode or last week's live. Now, it wasn't last week's live because that was with Jimmy Pibbles, but it was last week's episode. You asked me, if the Bucks win and it's not Giannis, who do you think it will be? And you even said it yourself then. It's 90% going to be Giannis, but if it isn't, then it would be, I think you said Middleton.
Or possibly even Drew Holiday. But.
Right, but yeah, no, Giannis had a ridiculous stat line through 6 games, and then just in the 6th game itself, just went fucking ape shit.
Yeah,
just lost his ever-loving mind. And
who would have thought they would have came back from 2-0 and then won 4 straight and shut it out at home? God, you saw how many fans were outside that fucking arena?
Oh my god!
So it was a packed house, loaded in. Which I think right there is like 25,000 fans. They said there was almost 65,000 fans outside.
Jeez. I mean, I get it. I mean, what you said, it was a 50, 60-year drought for the Bucks. It's the last time that they won. So it says the last time they even made it, to my knowledge. So, I mean, good for them. I don't really like Chris Paul, so good for the Bucks.
It's a good for the Bucks.
I had to throw that in there.
Come on, Chris Paul's not that bad.
Or is he?
I like Chris Paul. So staying on the NBA side, shooting over a little bit over to let's keep it real quick before we shoot over to the Olympic side of it. The Grizzlies had just today made a trade to send. His name is so weird. Valanciunas. He's like a top power forward / center for them to the Pelicans for a bunch of draft picks. A couple draft picks are coming from like the Lakers,
right?
But it's a big move. A couple minor players in between. Big move because that's the Pelicans are trying to make up for the AD situation,
right? Yeah,
and hopefully now with Zion talking,
right?
So
yeah, they definitely lost out on that trade. But not to cut you to the quick, but Jesus, that Olympic basketball team.
Oh,
what the fuck?
I was gonna talk shit about them after the fact that I give the praise to Luka. Let's get all the praise out before we dump shit on this team.
My bad.
So Luka he first with the record of most points scored in an Olympic game.
Oh shit.
He actually flirted with it twice already. The record I think was 55. He's just lately scored 48, and previously last match I think he scored 39 or something like that.
Okay. Get you some Luka.
They sat him midway through the fourth at some point, and the whole team knew he was right there. And they even told him, like, yo, go for it. Let's get the win. Let's get the record. And he was like, this is not what we're here for. We're here for wins.
All right. That's leadership. I respect that. I respect you, Luka.
You know? And now to the USA.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I was one of the first people who, again, casual basketball fan, but in the, the preliminaries and the friendlies, them losing these games and these upsets and these shockers, I was telling people, look, it's like the preseason in football, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Why are you stressed right now? Like, these games are just friendlies. It doesn't matter. And then they come out and they lose to France. So now I haven't read up on this. So they're done in the Olympics. Team USA is no longer playing.
No.
Okay, so it's just a historic
They're
loss.
still in. It just puts them behind the 8 ball.
Got you.
Because every game in an 8-game, like technically, if you go 8-0, that like if you go undefeated, you're 8-0. You know that's
right. That's gold medal. Right.
But if you lose a game, I'm pretty sure if they lose another one, like they might definitely be just straight out of contention.
Got you. So then the big upset is because they've lost for the first time since 2004.
They haven't. They had a win streak of like 24 matches.
Right. That's against France. I mean, like, I know this is going to sound like super ethnocentric, so forgive me, but nobody can compete with the U.S. in basketball. There's just no way. Like, this is the country for basketball. And then, obviously, the world can.
My thing was, in the 90s, when the Dream Team came together with Jordan and Ewing and all of them and the boys over there.
Sure.
There was a huge drought with the U.S. in the Olympics.
Right.
So they came out, they gold medal, undefeated, like, wow. Then we went into another huge drought in the Olympics.
Right.
And we had the bomb squad back then, LeBron, Kobe, all in their prime, KD, Dwight, Chris Paul. Like, we had, we had a bomb squad of guys.
Right.
They did it again. Guys don't want to play in the Olympics no more. It's going back to where the rest of the, world is catching up.
Right.
Because I have to say it, our B and C level players are not good enough to go against the world's A players.
So that's kind of my question, because you see some of these names and you're like, there's no way they lose to nobodies, so I'm going to chuckle saying this, but does this come down to passion? Like, does that, like, hand to God, like, I'm not even trying to troll.
You got to remember this, LeBron didn't want to play this year. Like, most of the top guys don't want to play in the Olympics this year, right?
I don't blame them.
So when you got, the team that we have now, you're going against these teams, you got to still remember that some of the top players in the NBA are playing for their countries.
True that.
So you got, like I said, our B and C and D level guys playing against, their A teams.
Right.
And even on paper, we should fucking steamroll them.
Yeah.
But
to me, I mean, look, I don't blame the guys, because trust me, I've seen so much vitriol oh, you have to represent your country in the Olympics. Bro, that's because you make $15 an hour. Shut the fuck up. If I made millions of dollars a year and you want me to go represent my country, but could sacrifice my paycheck over that, fuck that shit. Like, absolutely fuck that shit. Like, yes, it's all well and dandy to sit from my couch and be like, USA, USA, but I'm risking nothing by chanting USA. By going out and playing, I'm risking my entire fucking career. So, yeah, I don't blame them for putting money in their careers first. Why would you? You know, but it's still, when you look at the roster, you clearly can't care. You just clearly don't. Otherwise, you would not be losing like this. You know, maybe I'm on drugs. I don't know.
And I'm just saying, you know, there's
passion.
You take it for what it is. I said what I said. KD is, to some people's eyes, the best player in the world, the best player in the league. And he's on the team. And they lost. I'm pretty sure LeBron, Kobe, and MJ being on their teams never lost on the Olympics on the court.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that in the slightest. That's why I say it can't be talent, right? You can't look at those squads and say it's talent based. We lost on talent. No, because you said it. On paper, we should just be ending these games in the first quarter, and it shouldn't even matter. You know, so for me, it just has to come down to passion. It has to come down to giving a shit. And you don't. I'm not here to say that's a good thing. I'm not here to say that's a bad thing. I'm here to say that's the only reason that we fucking lost. So you can take that shit for what it's worth.
It is what it is.
Aye.
Let's shoot over to the MLB. It's going to be a quick one because I don't want to deal with it too much.
Yeah. My God. How do you fucking Yankees up 4-0?
On a no-hit bid. If I was Aaron Boone, this is where I blame Aaron Boone on this part. If I was Aaron Boone, even after the first hit that he gave up, I'm keeping Herman on the mound. I'm not bringing in someone else. I would have gave him another shot. The second hit he gives up, you pull him. You bring in Loizica. Loizica gives up 3 straight hits. So, mind you, let me keep Aaron Boone's process. He pulls him after the first hit. He brings in Loizica. He lets him pitch and gives up 3 straight hits. If Loizica gives up the first hit,
gone.
Yeah, gone.
For sure.
I'm not giving him the chance. Gone.
Yeah.
I don't know why he picked Loizica. I would have never put Loizica in that situation.
So who did you throw in?
As much as people are going to hate me for saying it, I'm bringing in Chad Green.
Oh, I thought you were going to go Aroldis Chapman.
No, because it was the bottom of the 8th. I'm bringing in Chad Green.
I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Just saying. How the fuck did the Yankees do that, man? Starting to break my heart. Anywho, what else is up with baseball?
Pretty much that's it, because it's a long season. The All-Star just ended, you know, and it's a whole sec. Oh, but there is the Cleveland Guardians.
Yes, I'm so glad you brought that up. Yeah, the Cleveland Indians, formerly, well, I guess currently, the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, till the end of the season.
Are going to change their name to the Cleveland Guardians, which I don't genuinely care about, but have you seen their new logo?
I'll show you it right here.
Bro, no, I have.
Garbage.
I have.
Garbage.
Bro, they straight, said, how can we change this as little as possible?
I look at the logo.
Clip art. They just, bro, I put out better graphics on Canva than they did in their own logo. That shit's all clip art. You know, they just Googled baseball with wings clip art. And that's what they came up with.
No, yeah, I look at that and I'm like, what the you put
oh my God.
It looks like the Flash wings on the
it was if you haven't seen it, maybe in the YouTube video, I'll throw it up here, but for those listening, you need to go check out the new Cleveland Guardians
and
logo.
They turned what was it? They turned down the Warriors.
Oh, I didn't see that.
They got asked for the Warriors. They turned down the Cleveland Warriors.
I wouldn't have hated that.
Where the hell did the Guardian? It look. Oh.
I read something or I saw something that it's about. I guess on one of their bridges, it the Guardians guard against traffic or something.
Yo, guarantee you, Guarantee you that their mascot ends up looking like a fucking UFC Trojan.
100%. 100%. Yeah, the hands down. Hands down. All right, but what else you got for me?
Anyway, small NHL, Seattle Kraken are expansion draft done. Teams 100% picked out. I think there was a couple trades they ended up doing. They got a decent they didn't do the Golden Knights route in getting like high players, but they got players that they're looking to keep for the long haul.
Oh, for sure. They definitely went young. The NHL draft happened on like Friday, I believe, as well, after last Friday or something like to that effect. There have been a couple of big name trades that have happened. I have not kept up on that well enough.
Unlike the Cleveland Guardians, I actually want a Seattle Kraken jersey.
I fuck with their jersey.
I like that jersey.
Bro,
I'm also like a blue guy. Like I like blue.
I feel you. When they originally picked out their name and their logo, like I brought up to my sister, she's like, how stupid. I'm like, nah, I actually really fuck with that.
Yeah.
Like really, like I heavily fuck with that shit. So, and I like their fucking logo, man. And like if Kraken, the rum, doesn't become the official sponsor of the Seattle Kraken, everybody is missing marketing opportunities. People hire me, marketing, hire me.
Seriously. Ooh! MLB trade alert. Flash. Yankees acquire right-hander Clay Holmes from the Pirates for infielders Hoy Park and Diego Castillo, which are probably minor leaguers. So they're trying to bolster up their infielders from and they get a solid 28-year-old pitcher. So
fair enough. We'll see you later on Sports Meet, Sam's hot takes.
Oh, yes, right. His 50 million takes. And before we hit the main topics today, defensive tackle Allen from Washington extension.
Yep,
72 mil.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That defense is scary.
That line's gonna be freaking scary.
That defense is scary. NFC East is such a weird place to be in. You've got the Washington football team that's one of the best defenses in the league. The Giants, who have one of the best defenses in the league, but both of them garbage sack offenses. And then you've got the Cowboys with by far, they're like 64th in the league in defense out of 32 fucking teams. But when Dak was there, they were scoring like 50 points a fucking game. Such a weird division. And then you've got the Eagles. Then you've got the Eagles.
Then you got Drunken Monkey.
Yeah, for fucking real, man.
I'm taking the Giants. I said what I said. I said it in one of the other takes. The receipts are there.
We'll get into that because I actually will if certain things are met, and we'll talk about that later. But before we get into anything else, is that all you got?
One last thing. Did you see that whole video of Tom Brady throwing at the machine?
Oh, I made a TikTok about it.
What in the holy? I think it's bullshit.
It is.
I think it was faked and like fucking.
Do you remember those like 2008 like fantasy football commercials where guys were like fucking reaching through fucking sheetrock and jumping out of the sand and doing all that?
Bro,
vibes.
For real.
That's all the second I saw that, like the first thing that came into my head was just those commercial vibes. I'm like, stop it. Get the fuck out of here. I will pay Tom Brady's salary in Monopoly money.
He ain't that. Like, I'm sorry. No matter how accurate you are.
That is
3 straight passes.
That's what I'm saying. If he had done it 30 million passes, yes, he hits all 3 of those. Not in a row, but of the 30 million throws, he gets all 3 of those. No way. You're 3 for 3 into that. No.
And I was looking looking at his fucking space shoes of a fucking what the fuck was on his feet, bro?
I was like scrutinizing the background. I'm like, I'm gonna find the cut, motherfucker.
Yeah, I was like, I see shit, bro. I see this.
Nah, that you can let us know what you think, but that gave me real bad like 2008 fantasy football vibes. So I guess this is the part of the episode where I apologize to the listeners and the watchers and the people on the social medias and all the fans at large because I missed the previous week's trivia and I came back and I was super mean. So I'm not sorry, but that's as close as you're going to get to an apology.
That's bullshit. That's some bullshit.
Well, fuck you.
That's some bullshit. I want to get on your damn knees and beg to the fans.
I want to take this time to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double chance does what the fuck he wants. Anyway, so last week's question was kind of ridiculously difficult. Which longtime coaching great finished second in the 1956 Heisman voting poll hard-on? It was Johnny Majors. There was no way on
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah. Oh, he wasn't even a twinkle in. I don't think his father was a twinkle in his grandfather's eyes. But it was Johnny Majors. So it's okay if you did not know that. If I didn't have my handy dandy like fucking trivia calendar, I wouldn't have known it. I wouldn't have even known to ask the question. So there you go. But this one is a touch more reasonable, I feel. How many wide receivers were selected before Terrell Owens in the 1996 NFL draft? So not players, not overall players, not what draft pick.
Just wide receivers.
How many wide receivers were selected before Terrell Owens?
Sorry, we can't do all the editing all the time.
So the answer, by the way, obviously I'm not giving, but is
these nuts.
When you go back and look after we give the answer next week, we'll kind of explain a little bit behind it, but damn, it just goes to show, and this is a question that's like popped up every year, I feel, around draft time. Really, nobody is good at drafting. Not even NFL execs. It really is throwing a motherfucking dart at a motherfucking dartboard and hoping to God you are right. And anybody who says, I'm the best at looking at college talent. Okay, everybody is wrong like 98% of the time.
They're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Ryan Leaf was chosen number 1 overall. Tom Brady was number two. Tom Brady was 166. Nobody is good at drafting. Everybody passed on Patrick Mahomes. At least once. Nobody is good at drafting.
They passed up. Oh, man. We can go back to as far as drafts you want to go and
nobody's
you can be drafting. Like out of the draft, you can name a year and instantly maybe get at least one name in your head that's like, yo, they fucked that one up.
Mm-hmm. Each team can easily at 10 picks each year be like, fuck. But anyway, so again, how many wide receivers were selected before Terrell Owens in the 1996 NFL draft? And speaking of getting it right and maybe ultimately getting it wrong, we have Deshaun Watson, who by all standards, the Texans got right in the draft, but ultimately could have gotten it wrong for things outside of their control. So obviously, again, if you've not had your head in the sand, or if you have had your head in the sand, Deshaun Watson, probably one of the best quarterbacks in the league if he plays and was on a better team, has requested a trade off of the just horrendous Texans.
Especially after they traded D-Hop.
Yeah, I mean, they traded D-Hop, let J.J. Watt go. I mean, this is a team that had all of the reasons to win and yet couldn't figure it out. But he requested a trade. They tell him to go fuck himself. Then a bunch of allegations come out that he sexually assaulted, I'm going to put it in quotation marks, masseuses. And that's no indication of whether he did or didn't. It simply is some of them weren't actual masseuses. So you can call that for what it is. There was a very strange string of events that occurred from there about who came out and did what, and this did that, and
some recanted, some didn't.
But here we are. Training camp started for them, I think, on Sunday or Saturday or today. I don't know which day, but here recently. And Deshaun Watson shows up to camp. Now, that might seem pretty shocking, but when me and you were discussing it, you called it out for what it was. And in an instant. To avoid fines.
Yeah.
They're gonna fine them $4,000 a day.
If the NFL hasn't come out and said, hey, don't show up.
Right.
And you don't want to get fined $50,000 per day for not showing up.
Right.
Show up.
Right. So I mean it's not jarring that he showed up. It's pretty standard. Not a lot of people have the kind of money to hold out against those kind of fines.
Granted, he did get his first extension.
Right.
But he does have some money.
Right. Well,
a substantial amount of money.
Right.
But, like,
when you're
he
talking,
potentially is trying to get a second deal.
Right. So he shows up, and obviously, like, simultaneously with the story of Deshaun Watson showing up comes the story of, well, obviously he still wants to be traded. He maintains that. But then what kind of caught us off guard is because up to this point, the Texans have not said anything.
While, they go ahead and say, yeah, I'll entertain some trades for Deshaun Watson. Now, 10 women come out and file police complaints against Watson, 8 being women who are filing civil suits of the 22 women, formerly 23, 1 recanted so far. And 2 who no one knows or why they even came out or has nothing to do, I guess, so far with the other women. But and it doesn't say where. They refuse to say the names of the women. When Deshaun Watson's lawyers, they're supposed to know the names of the women.
Sure.
So they're eventually going to get them. But
it's the reason, and this might not seem related, and this isn't a conspiracy theory because it obviously is related. I just find it very interesting that in the same day, the Texans switch up their mentality after like a year of telling Deshaun Watson's camp to go fuck himself, that we're not trading you. Now, all of a sudden, they're like, you know what? We'll listen to offers. We have a ridiculously high price tag, but we'll listen to offers. Yeah. And then it comes out that, hey, by the way, there's this other list of people that are coming out and now filing criminal charges.
Speaking of their price tag, they're asking for up to 5 high draft picks and or combination of significantly talented players on the roster and compensation.
Right, so we're talking
or compensation. So
we're talking like either like 3 number 1s, a number 2, and a number 3, or we're talking 3 number 1s and your best QB receiver, or a QB, or you know what I mean? Like that's the price tag for a phenomenal player, but that we're seeing might not see the football field this year, might see the inside of a jail cell for a long time. There's a lot of what ifs here.
And that's what brought me to the fact where you're like, oh, why are they so willing to trade? But why not? Right now, he's allowed to show up to training camp. He's allowed to do everything. The NFL hasn't said anything about him playing football. Right. So as of right now, he is allowed to play week 1.
Right.
So why not? Fuck it. Get what you can. Get rid of him. Yeah. And if he gets to play, then most likely he's going to be bad on Houston for doing this. But if it comes out that any of this at all is true, I promise you he won't see the football field at least this year.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. And I put it out on Twitter the other day or maybe it was yesterday when the Texans said that they're willing to trade him. Maybe it was this morning. I don't recall. I put it out on Twitter when I saw it, and it was said, did the Texans waiting so long hurt Watson's trade value? But that is a great counterpoint that, okay, maybe it did devalue it a little bit, but fuck, get what you can while you can. Get your 3 number 1s while you can. And then, well, if he plays the season, fuck, you got 3 number 1s. So, I mean, yeah, it's a loss of Deshaun Watson.
They're going to throw their price out there, and people are going to talk them down, and they're going to talk them up, and they're going to talk them sideways.
Rule number 1 of negotiation.
Go on dates and cheat, and they're going to do all the ins and outs. And then eventually
of negotiation is start high. Start high and let you talk me off the ledge.
I was always taught rule number 1 in negotiations was don't give them a price.
Don't give it with terrorists.
Don't give them a price. You let them come with offers.
That's true. True that. But right now it's kind of a unique situation for, who's going to come to you with your potential sexual predator quarterback with an offer. You know what I mean? So this is a very dicey game here, but with the price being what it is, we have to assume that somebody will make a phone call. Whether it's I will take you at that price or hey, how firm is this price? What if we give you 3 number ones and Daniel Jones?
So okay,
specifically for the Giants.
So see, when you brought up the Giants earlier, and you saw me in my little like pondering moment.
I did.
I was like picturing Watson on the Giants. I think he'd fit amazing on the Giants with Saquon Barkley, Kenny Galladay, Sterling Shepard.
Kyle
you got
Rudolph,
fast guys,
Evan
young
Ingram.
guys. You got guys that like can move with Watson.
A potential top 5 defense.
You got guys that will mesh great with Watson.
Mm-hmm.
They'll move to his speed, his gameplay, and everything. But then I'm thinking about what to give up for him. I'm not sold on, like right now, Daniel Jones is, as much as everyone talks their shit, he is a number 1 draft pick, 6 overall. So if I was the Giants, possibly 2 number 1s, Daniel Jones, a 3rd, and shit, maybe I'll fucking give you Wayne Galladay and a fucking safety or some shit.
Right. I mean, even 2 number 1s, Daniel Jones, and a 3rd, I think is a fair haul for the Texans to not turn down, right? Daniel Jones isn't great, but he's serviceable. And fuck the Giants, yeah, they're giving up quite a bit. You know, essentially 3
I think on a rebuild with
rounders.
Houston, Daniel Jones would fit good to just
I think he's
stir the ship.
I think he's serviceable. I think there's a lot of upsides to him. I don't like him nearly enough to like bet my future on him, but I think there's upsides that the Texans.
I know how you feel about Daniel Jones, but I have my ups and downs with him. But I think Daniel Jones, if molded properly, can be a very, very good quarterback in the league.
There's enough upside for me to entertain that. How seriously, I don't know yet, but there's enough upside for me to go, we're in the realm of possibility.
Like, so everyone talks about his fumbling. Like, if you
turnovers are a problem.
If you took out when
Jamal Adams
out the fumbling,
robbed that man.
If you took out the fumbling, and let's say he averaged probably 3 fumbles a year,
still too much. You're a fucking quarterback.
I mean, you get those weird plays or whatever, and you take out the fumble shit. What else about him you're gonna be like? I just don't know.
Stupid.
You just think he looks like he doesn't.
You want my honest to God opinion? I think he's stupid. I think when the snap
he went to Duke. Oh, was it Duke?
I don't give a fuck where he went. You could be book smart. That doesn't mean you're real world smart. And once the shit starts happening, I think he's dumb. I think he is game time stupid. If you want like my honest critique of Daniel Jones, I think he's game time stupid.
I think the game just moves too fast for him right now.
That's what I said. Game
just
time
right
stupid.
now. Just right now.
I don't know if you can fix stupid.
Anyway, but what about so you said the Giants. What about if Houston goes and checks out the Bay Area and says, hey, you give me Jimmy Garoppolo.
Ooh, I would go differently if I was.
You say Trey Lance. I don't think they'd give him up. I think they.
If I was the Niners, let me correct that. If I was Houston, I wouldn't be shooting originally for Jimmy Garoppolo. My first, if the Niners were to call me and be like, "Hey man, what do you think?" I'd be like, "How in love with Trey Lance are you?" I'll take Trey Lance and 2 number 1s. We'll call it even. Trey Lance and your next 2 number 1 or your next 2 first rounds. We'll call it square. Okay, thanks. Bye. Hang up the phone. Let them think about it. And now if they came back to me with, nah, fuck you, we're not giving you Trey Lance, I'd take Jimmy, but it's going to cost a lot more on the back end.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see it a little bit, but I feel like the 49ers would flip everything again. So what they would do is they would trade Jimmy to Houston. Whatever the deal would cost, they would trade him to Houston, get Deshaun Watson. They turn around and trade Trey Lance somewhere else.
Wow, you think it would be a fire sale for the Niners? I mean, Watson's young enough so that, I mean, I guess you don't necessarily need a successor to the throne at that point. Not immediately, anyway. Yeah, but God forbid. So, okay.
So a lot of people have been, the high up on the Trey Lance, right? What if you turn around and I seen you write that name, right?
I did.
So what if you turn around and you go to the Broncos and he's like, hey, I got Trey Lance.
Ooh. You're talking like a blockbuster three-way. Or are you thinking like one trade and then the other happens?
Exactly.
I see you.
Or even a blockbuster. You can even do that. Because then you can take what you would do if you see now you brought up a whole new thing right now. You say a blockbuster trade between Niners, Broncos, and Houston, right? So Broncos will get Watson, Trey Lance to Houston. Okay. No, Watson to the Niners, Trey Lance to Houston.
No, Trey Lance would go to the Broncos. Jimmy Garoppolo too? I mean, no. You continue your thought process. I'll let you continue your thought process.
Yeah, it would be Trey Lance to the Broncos.
Okay.
Jimmy to Houston and Watson to the Niners.
And we're just doing even trades?
No, I mean, obviously there's going to be
some sort of draft pick coverage. Some sort of a couple of number ones moving places. Number one's got to be moving, or like first round draft picks have to be moving in this trade.
Yeah.
Like 3 or potentially 4. Maybe not all from one team.
See, my thing, if you keep it straight on the Broncos right now, so what if Houston goes to the Broncos and they say, hey, you give me Teddy Bridgewater. Because I don't see Drew. I just can't see shit out of Drew Lock.
Right, but they have Tyrod Taylor down there in Houston.
The fuck I want that punctured lung for?
But why would I stop? That wasn't his fault. But why would I want fucking Teddy Bridgewater over fucking Tyrod Taylor?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes,
get slapped.
Not really.
Get slapped. Get slapped.
But not really though. Like,
get slapped. The disrespect to Teddy Bridgewater, what he just did with the Saints. What Tyrod Taylor do? Lose his job to Justin Herbert. Even though, granted, that's no disrespect to Justin Herbert. That man's a fucking
Justin
rocket
Herbert
man.
Balled out from
no Justin Herbert.
Justin
no
Herbert
disrespect
saw
to him.
Saw his
no disrespect to him.
Trigger. So
I'm just saying, you lost your job, your starting job, to a rookie.
But that's not your fault.
Hey,
you got stabbed by your own doctor.
Hey, and
then your team has to ride the hot hand.
If you were a good quarterback, you would have been back on the field. Drew Brees broke his fucking thumb. What happened when he was ready?
How? Drew Brees is a first-round Hall of Famer. That's not good.
Cut it out.
Drew Brees isn't good. Drew Brees is a first-round Hall of Famer.
Cut it out.
I'm not even going to talk to a man who lost his own beer in a bedroom. All right?
No, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing right now.
But no, I mean, there's a lot of interesting implications behind this. Before the news of the next topic came up, I was going to type down Green Bay, and I thought that might be an interesting place, but obviously that's dead. You know what I mean? The Bears have a fucking existential crisis going on at fucking quarterback right now. You know what I mean? Deshaun Watson, for teams that have the capital, can move a lot of quarterbacks.
Check it. This is not I said what I said moment because I don't know how I feel about this. What if Houston and the Jets spoke?
No.
And they were like, Houston was like, give me Zach Wilson.
I'll trade you quarterback for quarterback straight up. That's it.
Quarterback for quarterback.
And then if I'm Joe Douglas, and the second I see Houston's area code, I pick up the phone and say Watson for Wilson straight up. Click. And that's the conversation. And if they don't call me back with a yes, we're done talking. That's it. That's the only deal I'm taking. Watson for Wilson straight up. That's it. That's the only deal.
I would do Watson for. Give me Watson and a third for Wilson, a second and a fourth.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The Jets are in too good of a place right now. Don't get me talking about the Jets because I'm gonna get over fucking optimistic like I do every offseason. No, but here's my like super stretch, and this is not an I said what I said moment. I'll take that out of your mouth. What if Houston calls the Bucks, not for Tom Brady, because that's a dumbass. Like I'm not going crazy here. I'm not going stupid, right? They say I want Kyle Trask, and a number 1 and a number 3, or Kyle Trask and like your fucking second string receiver and a number 2, something to that effect. Tom Brady's done soon, right? So Watson's gonna, and it gives you time if you're the Buccaneers. This is getting better the more I'm saying it. You got time as the Buccaneers because Tom's playing this year. It gives it time for the Watson bullshit to shake out because it's gonna shake out by this year. So if he gets suspended, you're not out anything because you still have fucking Tom Brady and your 52 returning, starters. And then after that, the shit's gonna clear up. You got fucking Watson and 48 of your returning starters. Super Bowls on Super Bowls on Super Bowls. Ladies and gentlemen, if I don't have a job in the NFL by the end of the year, you have all failed me.
Yeah, but if he actually plays the season, you're not benching Watson.
For Tom Brady, I am.
I mean, granted, yes, I get that situation, but like you're not.
I'll go so
Watson.
Ballsy as to tell you, as to say this. If I am nameless GM of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'll give you Kyle Trask and 3 number 1s, even knowing if God himself, Odin, whoever, were to come before me and say, I'm telling you the future, Deshaun Watson will be absolved of all sins and play this year, I'll still give Houston fucking Kyle Trask and 3 number 1s for Watson to bench behind Tom Brady this year so I can fucking play him next year.
So what if?
And the future.
So what if? What if Houston goes to good old Gruden in Oakland and Las Vegas, and he says, hey, give me Derek Carr, 2 number 1s, and
I just don't like Derek Carr.
It's Houston. Like, they just need something right now.
I would say give me Darren Waller.
They're not going to do that because Darren Waller's going to fit in perfectly with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, but I would not take fucking Derek Carr. I'd take Tyrod Taylor over Derek Carr. I get disrespectful when it comes to quarterbacks. You should know this by now.
Derek Carr is slightly better than his brother.
I get super disrespectful when it comes to quarterbacks. You should know this by now. But I think John Gruden would fucking jump at the... John Gruden's favorite quarterback
is the next one.
So...
That's why I said it.
Guys, let us know what you think. We got to move on. Otherwise, this could be a 4-hour episode, which we're prepared for, but I don't think you are. So give us a minute. We're going to take a leak, and we'll be back with Aaron Rodgers. But let us know what you guys think about Deshaun Watson.
If you don't have a beer, get one, because this man's going to hurt your head, and you're going to want to drink after this one.
There's been, this is almost as crazy without like the legal implications as the Deshaun Watson situation. And obviously we're talking about Aaron Rodgers. There's just been trade me. We're not going to trade you. Then go fuck yourself. I'm not showing up to camp. I'm not playing for the Packers. I'm going to drink tequila and spread a bunch of rumors and spread innuendo and being the mythical man that Aaron Rodgers is.
It's literally like what's the saying, like about the twos with toddlers?
Oh, the terrible twos.
Terrible twos. There you go. It's like you got a fucking little child and they're just fucking going off.
Right. And I'm not gonna say
the mom and dad don't know how to go about it the right way.
This saga really has started with the hiring of Matt LaFleur in the first place.
But then
Aaron
Rodgers was
for a season.
But then that was fine. That's not the issue. Then the issue became the GM, and Aaron Rodgers literally just straight up said,
"Right,
fire him or I'm not playing."
Yep. And look, I'm not gonna say Aaron Rodgers is wrong, and I know everyone's like, he's being a baby. This is a team who has had 30 years of Hall of Fame quarterback. 32 years of Hall of Fame quarterback play, and has gotten 2 championships out of it. So
a couple MVPs.
But when you're talking about a fucking team, that doesn't matter for nothing.
That just says even more.
Right. So I'm not saying Rodgers is wrong with disliking the Packers organization, because You clearly dropped the ball here, but recently there's obviously as the season ekes closer, we've got 2 weeks till football, as the season comes closer, we've heard a lot of, all right, Rodgers has made a decision. Rodgers has done this. Last night, by the way, mixed into all of this, Devontae Adams, their star receiver, apparently broke off contract talks with them, extension talks with them.
And posted a IG picture simultaneously with Rodgers with the MJ Scottie Pippen
fist bump on the last dance. Yeah. So that teed a lot of people off. I think everybody knew what was coming next. And then today the news breaks that Aaron Rodgers is confided in a bunch of close friends that he's probably going to sign with the Packers again, and for at least a 1-year deal. And then Schefter and metric fuck ton of people in the know started tweeting the same things. And once Schefter tweets anything,
it's solid.
God has said it.
Yeah, it's solid.
For NFL news, if it comes
especially if it comes out of his source itself, like if it's not like ESPN or SportsCenter that says like bye Chef, like if it comes from him,
right? If it comes from like Tom Pelleroso or fucking Shefty, like that's next to God as far as So then came out that they're finalizing a 1-year deal. He technically had 3 years remaining, but this extension was only going to be for the 2021 season. And you kind of were hitting me with the not specifics, but the concessions, I guess, that we know to this point.
Yeah, with his deal, there's a bunch of perks and changes, and obviously this isn't gonna end like pretty. Like he wants something specific, so they have to build this specific contract for him. So they ended up agreeing in principle so far that he would show up to training camp. The 2023 year that is left on Rodgers' contract, which is the last one on the deal, that's going to be voided. No tags allowed in the future. So meaning no franchise tags for all you people that
we're not talking about
don't know.
Tag.
Well, you never know. The Packers also would agree to review Rodgers' situation at the end of the season, possibly trying to keep him long-term.
Right.
Maybe he decides differently. They also would adjust his contract where he gets no loss of income, which would give more cap space to the Packers to spend. They will put a bunch of mechanisms in place for them to try to figure out what's the issue that Rodgers has with the team. If the Packers officially sign off on the willingness to trade Rodgers, he will decide. He gets to decide where he wants to go then.
So I found a lot of this language to be like hyper interesting, right? So like the language of neither party losing out, right? Like the Packers not losing cap space, the Rodgers not losing. That stuff I'm not shocked on, right? Because exactly what took so long. Those seemed basic to me, right? So that I'm not shocked on. But the, I guess, concession maybe on Rodgers' part to let the Packers review the situation at the end of the year and potentially come back. I don't know if that's one of those, yeah, sure, I'm not coming back, but I'll let you review it. I don't really give a shit. I don't know if it's that situation or if there really is something deep down in Rodgers that still loves Green Bay.
Maybe
and doesn't want to give up his mansion in Wisconsin. Never going to let that die.
Maybe at the end of the season, things between him and the GM change.
Yeah.
Or maybe Packers turn around and was like, shit, the issue is the GM because Rodgers has stated this is what he would like to see, and the GM refuses to change on something.
Right. I just found that language to be hyper interesting based off of all of the things that we've seen out of Rodgers' camp. Right. We've pretty much seen that the divorce is final. Right, that it's all but the Green Bay Packers signing the paperwork, or the divorce is final. And now all of a sudden there seems to be this change of heart. Now, is it one of those, yeah, of course, I'll let you, keep the fucking dog and the
I think
cat,
it has to be something
and
where it looks like the Packers also win. Like
right.
they get a chance at least to sit him down one more time. Like, yo, bro, like, all right, this is what we can offer you.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, is it just for show, or is it a true, like, we all know this Facebook couple, right? Like, you listener at home know this Facebook couple that puts all their shit on Facebook. I hate you. Oh my God, he fucking cheated on me. He has a small dick, blah, blah, blah. She's a fucking crack whore, blah, 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 blah. And they divorce. And then 3 weeks later, they get back together and you're sitting there eating popcorn, waiting. You search them every now and then on your Facebook page because this is the drama you live for. Like, writers can't come up with it. Everybody has that couple on Facebook.
I mean, everyone's been there too.
In high school. No, yeah, but like seriously. Everybody knows that like 30-year-old couple that does that. So
no,
is that
real?
Like, that's how this rings to me, is that they hated each other, and Rodgers is like, they have a baby dick, and they're like, oh, you have a wide vagina and all these things. And then all of a sudden, like, we're getting back together again in the public eye. Like, I don't know. Is this clown shit? Is this for show? Is this all planned from the beginning to make the Bears and the Vikings and the rest of the NFL let down their guard? Like, what?
Hear me out. I do believe that Rodgers has a real love for Green Bay. And maybe deep down he doesn't really want to leave.
Right.
Or would like to stay if things do change.
Right.
I also do believe he has made enough money. I'm pretty sure 8th in all NFL history.
Right.
At $220-something million that he's made so far.
It was never about the money when he turned down the highest paid player in the NFL contract.
Hear me out when I say maybe a part of him is like, look, I am getting older and getting to the later half of the end of my career. And if Green Bay doesn't want to change some of their traditions and ways to help us win a Super Bowl, maybe I pull a Tom Brady, I go somewhere else, and I win with someone else before I fucking retire. I find a team that, obviously, it just said right there, if they willing to trade Rodgers, he has to agree to the team they're going to trade him to. So he finds a team where he can win now.
So there's just so many levels to this, because although this might not matter to the average man, I feel like this is connected. Aaron Rodgers has a minority stake in the Milwaukee Bucks. Aaron Rodgers just won an NBA championship. Now, that might seem like it's nothing, but this is a preparation for the future, I believe. It's no secret that Aaron Rodgers is in the twilight of his career. Obviously he's not like dying, but he's old by NFL standards. So I guess let's attack things step by step. This deal, by all sources, is getting done, and everyone will be happy for this year. And Aaron Rodgers will have another scorched earth tour that we're all.
Don't say it.
Well, hold on.
I'm hoping you don't say what I think you're gonna say.
I don't know. I'm gonna pull an old switcheroo on you, because Aaron Rodgers is going to have a scorched earth tour this year. We all know that when Aaron Rodgers gets a stick up his ass, that it just means horrendous things for defenses that he plays. Now, do the Packers pull the old switcheroo and be like, ha, we're trading you?
Oh, no. I have something else in my head.
Okay. So that was my first step, obviously getting through the season. So obviously you believe that he's not going anywhere. He's not going to get traded. He would have to agree, but maybe everyone pulls the old switcheroo here.
I think if...
What are the chances he gets traded this season on this deal?
%10.
Wow. 0.00001 for me.
It literally only for pretty much, because no one is going to have the capital to spend on what they're going to ask for him.
Right, and Rodgers has to agree. So this has to be one of the most advantageous.
They have to go to literally the teams he asked to.
Right.
They got to go to whatever teams he asked to. And they're going to ask for something fucking ridiculous.
Right. Like, he has to go to the Bucks. He has to go to a team that's going to win a Super Bowl tomorrow.
My thought process, the way you were saying that, I was like thinking about it. I'm like, the Last Dance photo.
Right.
Adams cutting his extension talks.
Right.
That means he's probably going to walk.
Sure.
Aaron Rodgers retires?
There was a lot of rumors surrounding that. Now, was that a go fuck yourself? I'm going to retire till my contract runs out and then come back? Or
no, because his contract technically is over after this year.
Right.
But
on this new contract. But I mean, in the past, there were talks about him retiring.
But does he just
wow? You think he'll walk it off? This is the last.
Like you just said, he has majority stakes in the Bucs. Just won a championship.
Sure.
He got all this shit. He got the Jeopardy in lined up. He got his future set. Like he's always stated, my game will speak for itself. My stats will speak for itself.
Right.
Like my career has already spoken for itself. There's nothing really more I need to accomplish besides wanting to win another championship.
Right.
But I've done it all.
Sure. So all right. So I guess the next question is Rodgers plays the year again, and for me, it's a foregone conclusion that he just goes on a scorched earth tour. I mean, probably sets 1 or 2 passing records, whether it be attempts or completions or whatever. He sets some sort of record because he's Aaron fucking Rodgers and Devontae Adams. I mean, there's just no way. So he goes on a scorched earth tour. What is the percentage in your mind that he walks away and this is it? This is like last year, at the end of last year, we all cried because Drew Brees retired. So we're all going to cry at the end of this year because another great that we grew up watching is going to retire.
The percentage that he walks away after this year, 5.9%.
See, I'm going 30 to 40% on that. I think there's a good chance. I don't.
I think there's a chance. I just don't think it's a very high. I just think. See, what brought it to my attention was the Last Dance photo.
That's what I'm saying. What did they mean? Last Dance for Wisconsin, or did they mean Last Dance for?
Because if he's breaking his extension talks, he'll just follow him wherever he's going.
Right.
There's no really last dance.
No, I feel you. So Aaron Rodgers doesn't retire. Does he become a free agent? Does he get traded? Where does he go? I guess is the question.
The thing is that the smart move that Green Bay would have to like triple have to trade him this year because of the new contract.
I think the only way that he doesn't retire. So I guess I'm going to change my answer. I think it's 80% he retires.
I'm thinking the same. I'm like, yo, he has to. That's why I brought it up. I'm like, yo, he has to retire.
The only way he doesn't is a lose-lose for literally everybody but one set of people. It's a lose for everybody because it cements Tom Brady's legacy. I think he's on Tom Brady's phone right now and they're chit-chatting, or at the end of the season they will. Tom Brady retires. Tampa trades for Aaron Rodgers, and Rodgers wins the Super Bowl down there and then walks off into the sunset. Meanwhile, Kyle Trask either goes to Green Bay or sits behind two of the greatest quarterbacks that we've ever seen play the game. Tampa wins 3 fucking Super Bowls back to back to back, starts a whole new dynasty, and Tampa becomes the place to retire for quarterbacks. I'm a great storyteller. Can I just pat myself on the back after
if some of these actually became reality,
how crazy would that be? How crazy would that be at the end of this season? Aaron Rodgers goes off for damn near 6,000 yards, right? Crazy, fucking crazy numbers here. Goes off, goes crazy. Tom Brady wins another Super Bowl, walks away with 8 because why wouldn't you in back-to-back in a new team? At that point, like, we can call Tom Brady the GOAT now. I've had to eat my words. I'll do it. But if you go to a new team and win back-to-back undefeated Super Bowls in a new team, like, for all time, Patrick Mahomes has to win the next 30 Super Bowls back-to-back to even be considered. Like, this, for all time, never again will we see this, I think, in NFL history type of Tom Brady level. He walks away into the sunset because why the fuck not? And then Aaron Rodgers comes down and just, like, again, scorched earth, the shit. Takes like a fucking veteran minimum deal signs again all 52 fucking starters. I guess 51 starters. Scorched earth does shit again. Bruce Arians goes 3 for 3.
I think it goes different.
Tampa.
I'm gonna add into your story. I think it goes different. I think Aaron Rodgers goes over. He gets a guaranteed contract, most of his signing bonus, so it doesn't affect cap room.
Hey, whatever.
Devontae Adams comes over. What they do, they get rid of Antonio Brown.
And Kyle Trask up top.
They get rid of Antonio Brown and Kyle Trask to Green Bay.
Oh, my God. That'd be absurd.
So you keep Mike Evans. Gronk ends up taking the fucking, he's going to end up walking with Tom.
Right. It's the only reason he's playing.
You fill in fucking the tight end role.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine? I don't know if I want to be right or not.
That's wild.
First of all, if I'm
right. I like
right,
feeding the shit, but that was wild.
First of all, if I'm right, I am God, just in case you are wondering. But I don't know if I want to be right.
That's wild.
Bro.
Nah, I don't see it happening, but that's a wild take. That's a wild take.
I think I'm saying I think I said what I said. That's the most unsure.
You mean you dream what you dream,
man?
You dream what you
blame it on
dream.
the alcohol. Holy shit! I think that's brilliant.
That's crazy.
I know that might sound like
that'd be wild though. That'd be wild.
Yo, Aaron Rodgers, hit me up. I want a cool mill.
But seriously,
that's all I want out of this story.
That last dance photo, that's why it makes
retirement.
The retirement came to mind. Like,
yo,
what?
For sure.
Maybe. I mean, he is going into 17 years.
Hey, he is.
This is 17th season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. Like, I'm not saying that it's out of the. Like I said, I think it's 80% he retires, 20% my completely made up fictional super awesome tale.
And then you hear him and you see him doing his, other things during the offseason. And when he talks about football, he seems so zen with his career and his gameplay and everything. But he'll throw a lot of shade.
Right.
In under the very passive aggressively.
Salty old veteran, man.
Very passive aggressively, he'll throw mad shade.
This is a guy who,
but he's very zen.
Honestly, like there's like all-time greats that you'd want to have a joint with, right? Obviously, Ali, Wayne Gretzky, like the all-time greats. Aaron Rodgers, I'd want no cameras, no nothing. I would just want to sit in a room with unlimited whiskey. I know he drinks tequila and cigars, and I'd never listen, or I'd never speak. I would just listen to him speak about all of the inner workings of his, because he's a genius, obviously.
He looks like Jesus, by the way.
Like he is, because you're right. He is so zen about it, and he's so intense too. Behind that zen, there's this like level of intensity, and it's
wisdom.
Yeah, I really hope I'm right. That'd be crazy.
That'd be wild.
Talk about a storyline, bro. At that point, if I would ever be right, the NFL is the WWE and it's all fucking stories. It's all manufactured, if I'm right.
Let's ruin some Cowboy fans. What if they Rodgers for Dak?
Nope. I mean, the Cowboys would take that in an instant. Maybe both teams would take that in an instant. Yeah, but the Cowboys aren't set up the way the Buccaneers are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that, but it's not as cool as my story. Just saying.
So we got a little small breaking news.
Oh.
With the Giants, who we've brought up earlier.
Yeah.
Joe Judge has come out and said they're playing the long game, the patient game with Saquon. That's all that was said. But what it's indicating so far is that
he's not ready for
most
week 1.
likely. No, maybe he is ready, but they're probably not going to push him to start week 1.
Yeah,
there's no need really.
Right? Yeah, I mean, as far as preseason goes, Saquon doesn't need to touch the field during preseason.
No.
No, that's interesting.
I would say play week. I would say. Week 3 at earliest, put him on the field.
Interesting.
Because, granted,
I mean, it takes a year. Isn't a slouch.
It takes a year to recover from an ACL tear or MCL tear.
Right.
He tore it in week 4 of last season.
Right.
So that's why I said at earliest week 3.
Right.
You look at your record, you see how your team is doing, you see how the chemistry is going, you see what's going on.
Aaron Rodgers to the Giants?
No, he wouldn't go there. No, he's not on the list. The Giants aren't on the list.
So
wait, okay. So before we bring, so apparently they got to trade him wherever he wants to go.
Right.
What is his list?
I think it's Tampa. I think that's the.
There
list.
has to be more than just.
I don't think it is.
No, because the team's not going to be like one team or no. There's not going to.
I do.
What is your list?
That's it. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, Tampa's my list. I'm going to assume, and this is with the assumption. I'll be very frank with you. This is with the assumption that Tampa wins the Super Bowl back-to-back years and pulls off more of their contract magic because nothing to date has led me to believe that they can't do the same thing. So as of right now, I'm under the assumption that Tampa is back-to-back Super Bowl champs. And if I'm Aaron Rodgers, it's the only team that is set up to win again like that. No other team, I think, in the NFL can do the things that Tampa can do for him. The Chiefs obviously cannot. The Jets cannot.
I beg to differ. Hear me out.
How spicy is this going to be?
Hear me out.
On like a Scoville scale.
Green Bay goes over. Talks to the Browns. Baker Mayfield. Aaron Rodgers. Figure out whatever you need to do. But you got a run game. You got your receivers. Okay. You know what?
Defense.
And Devontae Adams wants to walk too, right?
Right.
Sweet. I'll wait a season until Devontae Adams comes to the Browns and we get him signed. I'll send which one you want? Landry? OJ? OBJ? Higgins? Who do you want?
And nobody want OJ.
Who do you want?
So if I'm Rodgers, for me, it's really about lines and receivers. And the Browns do have a good line.
Top 5 line. Their receivers are young, top-notch. As much as you don't like OBJ, he does still put up a lot of numbers.
They've got a good defense.
Great defense. Great run game. Aaron Rodgers doesn't need to play action, but he thrives on play action. And what's everybody bitching about Baker Mayfield? Can he stay in the pocket and throw the ball? Right. We already know what Aaron Rodgers can do with the fucking ball.
AFC North is a tough division, but I think
Ben will retire.
Yeah,
and Lamar's not gonna fucking win over Aaron. Get the fuck out of here.
No, it'd be him duking it out with Patrick Mahomes, which does further
with Joe Burrow in the division. With Joe Burrow in the division, Lamar Jackson, no shit on Jamar Jackson, but even Joe Burrow's not gonna put up nothing on Aaron Rodgers.
That's interesting.
You ain't winning that division over Aaron Rodgers.
I don't hate that.
On the Browns with that team.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that in the slightest.
And that, I said what I said.
I don't hate that.
Figure it out. They got pieces. Brown got a lot of capital, a lot of draft picks.
Yeah. I don't hate that. All right, fine. If there was a list, then I would say Tampa and Cleveland. I don't hate that. Honestly, the Giants might be on that list too. Like way down, like 1, 2, and then 78.
If you were putting,
the Giants,
if you were
go to Alabama before I go to the Giants.
If you were throwing out like a top 5 teams that he had to pick, I would see them as one of the 5. But if you're just doing the top 3, they're not in the top 3.
No, not in the top 3.
Top 3 is a contender.
Right, for sure.
I know he can make the Giants a contender, and obviously his gameplay will automatically make pretty much almost any team in the league automatically playoff.
Oh yeah, for sure. But if I were him, it would definitely come down to like protection because you're old, and let's put it like that, and playmaking ability, which is what he's bitched about.
I just thought about that Cleveland Browns one too, and I'm like, yo, everyone keeps bitching about how Baker can't do the one thing that Rodgers can literally do it all.
Right, and yeah, and Rodgers does. I should say Baker has a lot of Rodgers,
and that team thrives off the play action.
Yeah, And Rodgers can make moves. Now, he's not the fleetest of foot, but he can get out of some of the most dangerous plays is Aaron Rodgers out of the pocket. Like, he's obviously not going to burn you for 30 yards.
His throw on the run is crazy. Dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't hate the Browns take. I don't hate that take. Let us know what you guys think. Do you think it'll be, will he sign again with the Packers? Will he go to Tampa Bay in the most perfect storyline ever? Will he go to the Browns, which is actually a pretty real world, nice setup for him? Or will he just simply walk away from everything and we're all forced to cry because Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers might retire? We might get 3 years of Breeze, Rodgers, and then Brady retiring. That's going to hurt. So severely. Anyway, but let us know what you guys think. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Come on, you guys should know it by now. And if you're new, I don't care. Just look anywhere on your
We're
socials.
Almost at 600 on Facebook. Come on, make it happen. We're like 2 away.
Coming up to 600 on TikTok. We are the gods of sports me.
Almost 7 something on Instagram.
Yep. Making a lot of good connections. Twitter, I've actually had a little bit of a spurt recently because I've been pretending to be on that a little bit more. So guys, follow us, engage. I really love engagements, man. I love talking to you guys about what you think. Spotify, follow us so that you're never missing out. Hector and I are gonna drink some more and then shoot some degenerates. So Hector, hit him with it.
Like Zach said, next round, the degenerates. I said what I said, bitches.